Dave has put together a look back on memory lane, a little composition of some of Rick's time and friends here over the last 30+ years in the company.
Yeah, this short video with some 30-year-old video and some recent stuff from yesterday. Very short stuff, but it won't mean a lot to some of you in the room, but I'm sure it'll mean a lot to Rick. And I think you'll see that he's changed over the years. So,
as opposed to you.
As opposed to me, right? And I want to apologize. There's one part near the end where I tried to do a 30-second. I was talking to him in the camera, and it was about 2:30 in the morning, and I was tired. I was not drunk. I was kind of tired, so I look old because I am old, and but I meant everything I said in that. If you can hear it, this is not going to be the best sound system. So, but Rick, enjoy, because this is for you. And then there are some, like I said, some folks that we taped yesterday that's pretty funny.
Oh my God, look at that. Say goodbye, George.
Remember life safety.
Okay, you're on.
Oh wait, I gotta hit you in the head.
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead. It's Mo. Hey, I just want to say, the guy couldn't have a better time than Rehkugler. We started our careers off together in the lab. We had a lot of laughs. Probably would be fired in the Exxon world. We did our job. We made a lot of progress. And we had a great time. Over the years, a guy couldn't ask for a better friend. So Mo, enjoy your retirement. I plan on spending a lot of time over your house. There's a lot of projects to be done in my house. Here's to the future. Love you, buddy. Hang in there. Bye.
Thanks, Dave, for putting that together and letting us sleep at all last night. And so Rick's cleaning out his office, and we were tearing through, scavenging the stuff. I got dibs on the chair, the recycle bin, and Ricky found this in the garbage can. And it's a song he wrote about himself, but he was afraid to. I made some copies for these guys. And sing it here because shy Rick wasn't ready to sing. Gentlemen, you want to do Rick a favor?
Yeah. Yesterday, films and news applications filled my day. Now I have Craigslist and eBay. Goodbye, Rodney and Frito-Lay. Suddenly, I'm not half the mule I used to be. Hermetic seals are weighing down on me. I sometimes faint when I go pee. I feel sad to leave, but I know I couldn't stay. I spent 37 years building up my 401k. Yesterday, Schoonerman was my man Friday, making packages for Frito-Lay. Some folks even thought that we were gay.
Not that there's anything wrong with that.
Well, anyway, Frito was the place I used to play, and AFR was gonna save the day. Now goodbye, mobile and Frito-Lay. Saying goodbye makes me feel both glad and sad. Take my advice, go out and hire my man Chad. Now if I may, there isn't much more that I have to say. I'm heading out to tend the farm today, and I will miss everybody.
And now our own little part.
Rehkugler. Now he'll have to live more frugal. Will farm his land and grow arugula. Oh, we will miss Rehkugler.
Yeah. Okay, thank you for that emotional song.
Camera on there, Kim? I'm working on it. Doing.
Welcome to Tell the Truth. I'm your host, Bud Collier, and before we meet our panelists, let's hear from tonight's guest. I, Rick Rehkugler, have been a dedicated employee of Mobil and ExxonMobil for over 36 years. I began my career down the road in Macedon in 1973 and have come full circle to retire here today. I was hired by the HR manager, Erwin Hicks. He was a former New York State trooper, so he had a good eye for long-haired, down the middle of your back, thin mustache talent like me. He immediately put me in the reclaim department. I was quickly promoted to run a cast line, and my high attention to detail and natural-born curiosity landed me an assignment in the QC lab. That's when I fell in love with plastic film. After a few years, I was promoted and moved to the tech center, this very building, and worked in the physical testing labs. My knowledge of packaging continued to grow, and I eventually moved into the packaging lab. Coated films, coax films, cellophane and glassine, waxed and clay-coated papers, vertical and horizontal machines, mirror pack and the Hasten, forming collars, turning cages, Teflon tape and Velcro, kidney beans and filter rods, pulling all of those seals. I'm so glad Rick Schoonerman did that for me. I went to Chicago in 1987 and worked in tech service. I love to tinker with things and understand how they work and make them better. Countless machines were modified to make them run OPP. Too sticky here, needed better knives there, temperature controllers for all of them. Cellophane never melted. While in the field, I made lasting bonds with my coworkers, my customers, and machine manufacturers. One by one, we converted an industry and changed the market forever. We led the charge, and I'm proud to have been an integral part of it. Those challenges, those successes, those relationships helped make me who I am today. When I returned to Basin Park in 1990, I managed the technical service group as we converted the rest of the generation of packaging machines and rolled out the next generation of coated films, high-performance coaxes, metallized films. I worked on nearly a dozen projects at the same time. Many of those films are still in the market today. As computers became more prevalent, I became quite good with numbers. I could even count backwards. But the number of days until I reached 55 years old. 90 minutes left in an eBay auction. I came back to the tech center in 1994 in the applications technology team, and in 97 was manager of the end user and packaging lab. As a current, although very short-term member of the application development team, I continued to use my thoughtful planning, my attention to detail, my vast experience, and industry connections to help drive our new product development. Now, let's meet our contestants. Number 1, what is your name?
My name is Rick Rehkugler.
And number 2.
My name is Rick Rehkugler.
And number 3. And now let's meet our celebrity panelists. We have Tom Poston. Tom Poston. Kitty Carlisle. Orson Bean. And Peggy Cass. Okay, now, contestants. Each of the panelists will have an opportunity to ask you questions. When the questions are completed, they will vote on who they think the real Rehkugler is. For every vote that is received for an incorrect Rehkugler, the contestants will receive a $300 cafeteria box, good for any of Z's small or large. Any questions, contestants?
Are they good for the hot sandwiches?
No, I'm sorry, no, they're not good for sandwiches.
Are they good for the soup?
Again, no, just the entrees. Now let's begin with our panelists. Let's start with Kitty Carlisle.
Number 1, you are known for your technical and engineering skills. Can you give us an example of these skills in practice?
Well, I once created rust on a rental car body, handled in just 3 days, using just processed beer and my salty nuts.
But I thought your specialty was packaging.
It was, but this story shows how I can apply my tech skills in a pinch.
Number 3, do you have a better example?
I don't think there is a better example of my ingenuity than that. After Kurt Albertson and I sideswiped that van, we needed to rust out. There was this cold glue sprayer thingamajig that I invented to spray, the water stuff on the back of the labels, and
Thank you, number 3. Number 2, everyone seems to know about this rental car story. Is there any truth to it? And if so, can you elaborate?
I've never rented a car.
Thank you, number 2.
Okay.
Number 1.
Next celebrity, Tom Poston.
Okay. Number 3, one very important packaging property is hermeticity. Can you please define it?
what?
Number 1, hermeticity.
Yeah, that'd be like buying a house and living in it in a secluded area with no one around. Ontario, near the nuclear power plant.
Thank you, number 1. Number 2, you spent a great deal of time working with a major customer, Frito-Lay. Where are they located?
Headquarters is Plano, Texas.
Number 1, what is one of your fondest memories of your work with Frito?
Well, I had a lot of good lays in Plano.
Okay, I'd like to hear more about the rental car. Number 2.
I'm sorry, Tom. Time's up. Okay, on to Peggy Cass.
I'd like to switch to your personal life. Number 1, all of the traveling you had to do must have been tough on your marriage. How many wives have you had?
Just one, my beloved.
Really? Number 2, how many times have you been married?
I've been married twice.
Do you plan to marry her again? Very, very interesting. If you decide to try a different wife in between, Gail? Number one, your very close friend and associate, Dave Liestman, describes you as an excellent ski instructor, an expert snowmobiler, a natural-born golfer, and generally speaking, an all-round athlete. Could you please tell us how you taught Dave to ski?
Well, I invited Dave to go skiing at Bristol. Back then, they didn't have much equipment you rent, so poor Dave came out with a pair of 8 freaking long line skis and a pair of tether bindings to hold the skis onto his own boots. Being the excellent instructor I am, I started him on the bunny slope and took off with another buddy of mine, Table, I think it was, and ski the really good trails while we left Dave on the bunny slope. When I came back to get him, as I expected, he was ready to go do some real skiing. I took him up to one of the expert trails, but with his personal safety in mind, I told him that he needed to be very careful. We then told him we would see him at the bottom and took off. Trial by fire is the best instructor, that's what I did. And Dave learned to ski real well. If you call rolling halfway down the freaking hill, if you call breaking your stinking 8-foot skis in half, and if you call being helped by a little kid. And yeah, so Dave learned everything he knows about skiing.
Number 3, I understand that you used to smoke a great deal.
What? Did Liestman tell you that? It was just that the Plymouth Arrow didn't have a big enough ashtray.
Yeah, they couldn't make it any bigger, the skis wouldn't fit.
Exactly.
Number 2, do you have anything to add?
I have nothing.
There is also a story of you swimming with your snowmobile. Can you tell me about that?
I've never read it.
I've never run into the Thumbs up, Peggy, thank you. Okay, let's go on to Orson.
Okay, number 3. I understand that one of your products, Airtight, was not completely successful in Thailand. Can you explain why?
Airtight. Well, actually, I wouldn't know about that. I was in Thailand buying $10 Rolexes to resell my friends back home.
Okay then. Number 1, what did you learn in Thailand?
Well, I learned a lot about Rodney's abilities in the area of fruit arrangement. Oh, and always carry a spare roll of toilet paper with you when you dine out in the public market.
All right, number 3. You are well known for your dedication and hard work. Can you give us an example of your dedication and hard work?
Well, sure, Orson. Just recently, as an example, I was scheduled to go to Plano for a business meeting and dinner with the Frito packaging folks. Now, despite the fact that the business meeting was canceled, I still went down to Plano because I'm that dedicated.
Needed to help out with those $60 steaks.
Yeah, and I had to get rid of all those singles.
Thank you, number 3. Number 1, I know safety is very important at ExxonMobil. With all of your traveling, have you ever found yourself in a scary situation out on the road?
You mean like with Rick Briggs at Bert's place?
Number 3, can you answer the question?
Well, there were the Mexican hookers in the elevator.
Really? Number 2, do you know anything about these Mexicans?
I've never read it. Point of clarification, we're talking about Rick Briggs. Not Rick Briggs.
I can vouch for that, I was there.
Okay, that's all the time we have for questions. Our panelists are while our panelists are determining who they think the real Rehkugler is, let's pause for a message from our sponsor. Our TV doesn't work, just go with it.
The radio.
Hi, is it on?
Hi, my name's Rodney. When Mule and I get together, our favorite meal is beer butt chicken. Now, Mule and I, we've been to a lot of exotic places. Shanghai, Bangkok, and we've eaten a lot of crazy stuff. But the one meal that stands out and stands up is beer butt chicken. Right, Mule? Right. Beer butt chicken, available in a store near you.
Okay, we're back. Yeah. Congratulations. Now it's time to see how our panelists have voted. Kitty Carlisle, who do you think is the real Rehkugler?
Well, I thought that number 2 had some of the best answers. It's so obvious that his mustache is fake, so I vote for number 1.
Tom Poston.
My vote goes to number 1 as well. I would think that any good packaging person would know something about hermeticity, and he gave the best answer to that.
Thank you, Cass.
Well, I thought number 2 was very cute. He answered a lot of my questions, so I voted for number 3.
And lastly, Orson Bean.
I figured it'd have to be either number 1 or number 3, but I wasn't sure which. But I thought, I've been to Thailand, and I've gotten some of those $10 Rolexes. Number 3 knew all about this, so I go with number 3.
Thank you, panelists. Now it's time to reveal our guests. Will the real Rehkugler please stand up?